In our previous video, we talked about the buccal aspect of permanent mandibular first molar. In this video, we will be continuing with its dental anatomy by discussing its lingual aspect. Watch the video till the end to understand it well. Hi, we at DentoRise welcome you all to a platform where we help you to conceptualize, visualize and memorize dentistry. First of all, talking about the cusps seen from the lingual aspect, then among the 5 cusps present in this tooth, only 2 cusps, namely the mesiolingual cusp and the distolingual cusps can be seen, along with some lingual portion of the distal cusp as you can see in the figure. Overall, if we compare the height of the cusps of all these 5 cusps present on this tooth, then the mesiolingual cusp is the longest one in comparison to the other cusps present. If we compare just the cusp present lingually, then the mesiolingual cusp is of course the longest one, followed by the distolingual cusp and then by the distal cusp. If we compare the mesodistal widths of the cusps present lingually, then the mesiolingual cusp has the largest mesodistal width, followed by the distolingual cusp, which may be a little less or almost equal to that of the mesiolingual cusp, followed by the distal cusp, which is very small both buccally as well as lingually. Now, if you observe the cusp ridges of both the mesiolingual cusp and the distolingual cusp, then the mesiolingual cusp ridge and the distolingual cusp ridge of both these cusps form an obtuse angle of approximately 100 degrees at the cusp tips as you can see in the figure. However, if we observe the angle formed by the distolingual cusp ridge of the mesiolingual cusp demarcated in the figure with pink and the mesiolingual cusp ridge of the distolingual cusp demarcated in the figure with red, then this angle is more obtuse than the angulation of the cusp ridges at the tips of the lingual cusp. Please observe the figure. Both the mesiolingual cusp and the distolingual cusps are separated by a lingual developmental groove which serves as a line of demarcation between these cusps and extends downwards on the lingual surface of the crown only for a short distance as you can see in the figure. Now, if we talk about the mesial outline of the crown from the lingual aspect, then this outline is convex right from the cervical line till the marginal ridge. The crest of contour present mesially is somewhat higher than the crest of contour present distally. Please observe the figure. If we talk about the distal outline of the crown from the lingual aspect, then starting from the cervical line and then moving occlusally, the distal outline of the crown is straight immediately above the cervical line to a point immediately below the distal contact area demarcated in the figure with red. The distal contact area is also represented by a convex curvature that outlines the distal surface of the distal cusp demarcated in the figure with green. If we talk about the cervical line on the lingual aspect, then this line lingually is irregular and tends to point sharply towards the root bifurcation and then immediately above it as you can see in the figure. If we talk about the crown surface, then the surface of the crown lingually is smooth and spheroidal on each of the lingual lobes demarcated in the figure with red. Below this, the surface of the crown becomes almost flat as it approaches the cervical line represented in the figure with green. Also, the surface is little concave at the side of the lingual groove above the center of the crown lingually as you can see in the figure in yellow. From this aspect, parts of mesial and distal surfaces of the crown and the root trunk may be seen because the mesial and the distal sides converge lingually. Now coming to the roots of the permanent mandibular first molar from the lingual aspect, the cervical line and the cusp ridges are about 1 mm higher on the lingual aspect than that of the buccal aspect. Because of this arrangement, the roots of this tooth measure about 1 mm longer lingually than buccally. Also, the mesodistal measurement of the root trunk is little less towards the lingual surface than that of the buccal surface. Because of the higher placement of the cervical line and the cusp ridges lingually, the length of the root trunk as measured from the cervical line till the bifurcation is 4 mm. The bifurcation groove of the root trunk is located almost in line with the lingual developmental groove of the crown, as you can see in the figure. Summarizing what we have read so far in the lingual aspect of permanent mandibular first molar, we first learned about the cusps seen from the lingual aspect, compared these cusps in terms of cusp height and cusp width. Then we learned about the cusp ridges of these cusps. We learned about the lingual developmental groove, the mesial outline of the crown, the distal outline of the crown, the surface of the crown, the cervical line, and then we talked about roots from the lingual aspect. So this was all about the lingual aspect of permanent mandibular first molar. The remaining aspects would be discussed in our subsequent videos. If you like our content, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon so that you can get notified whenever we upload any new video. Suggestions are always welcome from your side. Stay tuned, stay safe and check out our description box for more such videos.